Warm greetings, everyone. On behalf of W4W Foundation, a think tank instituted as a citizens collective, we welcome you to another session of Wednesdays for Water. The conversation today is on Water Pollution Series 5 on litter in lakes, clean up for a better tomorrow. The objective of Wednesdays for Water is to engage in conversation with water experts, grassroots practitioners, policymakers, and youth to explore the complex intertwined issues associated with water and the possible solutions. It has expanded since then to have more activities like the Friday Waters and the Monday Munching with Women for Water, besides organizing water workshops, water talk, walks, seminars, and special courses and conferences panels to continue the water conversation in various possible ways. Please visit their website www.w4w.in for more details. We are running a water pollution series to bring our conversation focus on the problems of plastic and other wastes in our water bodies. Today's session is part of the Wednesday series in collaboration with the Center for Global Affairs and Public Policy (CGAP) as a part of the project tackling plastic pollution in the Ganga Basin. The project aims to address the degradation of the mighty river through research expeditions at several regions, youth and community outreach programs conducted all over the country, and water conversation with experts and policymakers. I am Monica Tewari, Research Fellow at W4W Foundation. I will be moderating the session today. Before starting the session, I would like to give a short intro of the session Litter in Lakes Clean Up for a Better Tomorrow. It is an urgent call to action in response to the growing environmental threat posed by the proliferation of litter in our lakes. Lakes and litter have an unbreakable connections, reflecting the broader environmental challenges posed by human activity. To quote, if everything we consume produces trash, we have a responsibility to consume less to produce less waste. Litter, which includes plastics, debris, and other discarded materials, not only degrades the visual appeal of these vital bodies of water, but also jeopardizes the delicate balance of lake ecosystems. The consequences include habitat degradation, biodiversity loss, and water quality contamination. Recognizing the gravity of the situation, a concerted effort is required to initiate and promote comprehensive cleanup efforts. Today we have with us Abhijit Sathe and Akshay Deshpande as our speakers. To start with, I would like to introduce Abhijit Sathe, who is the founder of Jal Sevak Solution. He holds extensive experience across various industry sectors including turbo machinery, HVAC, electronics cooling, and renewable energy. He holds a PhD in mechanical engineering and also has earned 3 patents. He believes in harnessing technological innovation for improving lives. The Jal Sevak solution not only conserves fresh water and improves sanitation, it also preserves our environment by reducing water pollution. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Monica. I hope all of you can hear me well.
Yes, sir,
Uh,
you're audible.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for having me on this forum uh, and giving me opportunity to talk about my startup, Jal Sevak Solutions. As Monica mentioned, we are into recycling of domestic and commercial grey water for the purpose of conserving fresh water as well as improving sanitation. And it also has you know a huge effect on reducing pollution of water through recycling of water. So let me briefly share my screen to go over a small presentation. So we are tackling a sort of a threefold water crisis. On one hand, we do not have enough water in many of our metropolitan areas and cities. There is always a chronic water shortage across certain parts of any city. At the same time, there is not enough sanitation and hygiene in our public places, community toilets, etc., due to lack of water. The government of India has done excellent job by constructing so many toilets to make this country ODF free. But at the same time, unless we have a sustainable source of water to clean these toilets, to flush these toilets are not going to be of much use. And finally, when it comes to recycling of our wastewater, India has a very bad reputation. We do not treat our wastewater. Uh, Most of our wastewater, in either be it domestic, residential, commercial, industrial, most of it goes into our water bodies totally untreated. This is causing a great bit of pollution in our lakes, our water bodies, rivers, sea, ocean, and so on. How do we tackle this problem? Shortage of water on one hand, at the same time, uh, there is absence of recycling of sewage. That's why we have come across this solution, and we are trying to address a few problems. Most of us know the importance of recycling our wastewater. I think hardly anybody in this forum does not see it necessary that we reuse our wastewater, but we don't know how. There is not enough uh, solution, or there are not enough service providers in this field who are providing a decentralized recycling of our wastewater. We have large district level sewage treatment plants in many cities, in many apartment complexes, townships and so on. uh, but these are only restricted to big capacities, big sizes. For a smaller unit, for a small building or a small public bathroom and so on, affordable housing, there's really no solution that is available that can be used for existing as well as new construction of buildings. So we are looking at a huge market of the wastewater treatment, which is valued at roughly 4 billion US dollars. The current challenges are again, our country is undergoing rapid urbanization without much planning for our resources, and as a result, we are depleting our lakes, we are depleting our groundwater, and unless we act with a very urgent approach, situation is going to be very difficult in the very near future. That's where we want to jump in and do a bit to address this problem. Our on-site ground recycling solution, it treats wastewater from our bathroom, showers, washing machine, laundry, hand wash, and so on. And this treated water can be reused for flushing of toilets, urinals, for gardening, landscaping, for floor cleaning, construction purpose, etc. This will result in conservation of 35 to 40% of fresh drinking water, which can be used for other purposes rather than sending our fresh water into the toilet flushes. Why don't we use treated water from our own home to flush our own tank? I mean our own toilet. So concept itself is very novel to our country. We look at sewage treatment as a as a option which is bulky, and which we don't really know what is happening, how much of water is coming back for our reuse, etc. So here in this case, all we have is to recycle our water right across our home, and then reuse in our own home for flushing up toilets. So this is a solution with a very low capital cost and maintenance cost, and it can be scaled from a single home all the way to a apartment building, a public bathroom, any huge facility that can serve up to 1,000 people. So we have simplified the grey water recycling process by uh, by going through filtration, aeration, and disinfection. These are the primarily three technologies that we use. It is basically a superficial treatment of water, where we treat the what we remove everything that is in the water, and then we give it a small chemical treatment to make sure there is no consequence of bad foul odor or something. And so if you see the comparison of water, the raw gray water versus treated water, this water can be uh, easily reused for our own toilet flushing, and like I said, gardening and landscaping. And so this technology allows us to uh, provide our solution at a very affordable rate compared to the existing market players that charge you huge sum of money, and you have to dedicate a lot of space and maintenance cost to these solutions. So we treat our gray water using a set of filters followed by a small holding tank, and we have to do some sort of aeration to this water to prevent the BOD from rising. Then there is a small disinfection followed by a tertiary filter, and then this water can be sent directly to the rooftop sewage tank and all the way to the flushing. So we have made the system fully autonomous. At no point does the operator need to come in to switch the pump on and so on. The only intervention required is to clean the filters and refill the chemical in the disinfection system. Other than that, it is a very autonomous system. We have received a patent from Indian Patent Office for our compact and portable solution. This is the product where we have uh, uh, targeted community bathroom, community toilets, where you see people taking shower on one side of the complex, and people using toilets on the other side, separated by a single wall. So why not reuse the bathroom wastewater right in the same complex for flushing of toilets? And that's where our solution comes into picture. This is a completely self-sufficient unit that can be installed at a existing as well as in new construction of these public bathrooms. This is also adequate for places like restaurants, and where people wash their hands, and where people take shower. So any of these situations, this solution can be used, and it can easily recycle the gray water for flushing the same facility. We have been fortunate in enough to receive green labeling from two agencies. The Indian Green Building Council, IGBC, they have certified our product as a eco labeled green construction material that can be used as a green product for a green building. Also, we have received certification from Griha Council, which has a product catalog that lists all the green material for buildings like bricks and other technologies where there is zero carbon footprint in this in the whole process of manufacturing. So these two certifications have enabled us to sort of approach environmentally friendly, green friendly customers and agencies that are looking for similar solution. We are working on a few products. This is one where we treat the kitchen wastewater at a large commercial kitchen. If you look at a restaurant, a resort, a hotel, they have huge kitchen wastewater which gets sent into the drainage without any treatment. So we are working on a solution that can treat the kitchen wastewater, remove all the oil and grease, etc., and then reuse this water again for the gardening purposes of the same resort, where they are using currently tanker based water for gardening. They can reuse their own kitchen waste water. We have completed several projects. One of this is a rooftop convenience facility for a slum area in Bengaluru. This is a small 500 square foot facility where uh, people in this vicinity can use this for every day for taking a bath, for washing their clothes, for going to toilet, and so on. And since this is a underprivileged village community, there is a huge lack of water. They receive water only once in 3 days through tanker. So it's extremely important for them to conserve water, and which is where we are conserving roughly 1,000 liters of water every day by using the grey water for flushing toilets. And this is being used by 50 people every day. And we are happy to inform that these people have seen drastic improvement in the sanitation of these toilets at than compared to the previous situation. We are working on a similar hostel in Pune area, where we are again installing a 25,000 liter per day solution for boys hostel, and it will be used for flushing and gardening. We are working with Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs on this project. Presently, we have completed more than 24 projects across 15 cities. Uh, Combinedly, our solutions have saved more than 1 lakh liter of fresh water per day, and we have impacted more than 900 lives by giving them access to clean bathroom, clean toilet. This includes community toilet in several cities, smart toilets, etc. So all of these lead to a strong positive impact on the on the underprivileged people. We are not only conserving fresh water, we are giving access to sanitation in water scarce areas. At the same time, most importantly, we are reducing sewage by 50%. So this will have a good impact on our planning of the sewage treatment facilities by our municipal authorities. If everybody implements this solution, then the sewage treatment facilities we will not be over burdened, and they can even save money by from operational cost of these STPs. So in terms of sustainable development goals, we are satisfying three SDGs: climate action, sustainable cities, and clean access to water. We have received some awards from a French ministry called AFD. We were among the top 10 winners for Swachhata Startup Challenge. We have also been awarded the India Water Pilot Peace Scale Program by, again, Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. And we are a team of four people, myself, Abhijit. Monica has informed a bit about me in the introduction. And we are supported by agencies like IIT Kanpur, Wilgrow, several government agencies like MSME, Indian India Limited, etc. They have given us some funding to develop products and so on. So that is all from my side. I look forward to answering any questions anybody in the audience might have.
We will, thank you so much, sir. We'll get back to the questions after Akshay sir finishes
Yeah.
up his speech. And this was really very insightful. And thank you for taking us through the journey of water throughout the building, like how the wastewater can be again used in the building. Now, may I request our another speaker, Akshay Deshpande, with over 10 years of experience in facilities management, industrial waste, and recycling. Akshay Deshpande founded Switcheko, a company that creates sustainable products and social impact through waste management. He has an MBA degree and strong analytical skills that help him design and implement innovative solutions for waste reduction and reuse. At switcheko, he collaborates with on field heroes of the waste management system, empowering them to create a robust recycling system where everyone is benefited. He also works with a diverse range of stakeholders from field level recyclers to corporate companies, businesses, and individual customers to promote sustainable packaging and consumption. His mission is to accelerate the world's transition to sustainability. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much, Monica. I didn't knew I have done so many things in my life. It was really nice of you to. It was so warming for me also to listen good praises about myself. And thank you so much, Abhijit ji. Thank you so much. You have set a tempo here about how things are supposed to be. But a very wonderful presentation. Before I go ahead, I don't have a presentation. Okay, it's my bad. I don't have a presentation because litter from the lake cannot be presented. It has to be felt. It has to be. You can't just see the dirt on the presentation. You have to feel it when you enter into a lake. So that's the reason. That is one of the lame excuses that I can make myself to be not presenting, having a presentation available. But yes, as the topic of the day that we are talking about, how we are going to ensure that litter free, and how are we going to ensure that the people are the community along us takes the steps along with us to ensure for having a better future for tomorrow. So I've been doing lake cleanups for like close to 7 years plus now. Been doing lake cleanups, forest cleanups, and all. One of the major challenge that comes down to me, I'm going to share you stories here. I'm just going to explain you why, then getting involved and giving you a process. So one of the major challenges that when it comes down to a lake cleanup, it comes in like is, यार ये तो अपना काम नहीं है. This is supposed to be municipality's responsibility, or this is supposed to be the gram panchayat responsibility, or this is supposed to be the lake authority or the municipal corporation pollution control board's responsibility. Why are we doing it? Why are we even touching it? But this is a wonderful question. Yes, I agree. But I just asked this question back to them. Then, do you think the municipal corporation is coming and dumping the waste in the lake? Or do you think the pollution control board is coming and dumping in the lake? Or do you feel that the Gram Panchayat is coming and dumping it in the lake? So it is idiots like me. I don't blame anyone else. It's idiot like me who are polluting that lake. So that is the reason a idiot like me who is now enlightened by seeing that waste is coming and doing that lake cleanup. So it is not any particular agency's responsibility. It is the responsibility of all to ensure that our lakes are kept clean. And when it comes down, then when we started doing it, it was me, one friend, another friend who joined, two of us. Early morning every day 7 we go, we used to do that lake cleanup. Then one of the good stories, I think, which I shared it to Manji ma'am last time, is one day when we were doing a cleanup, a, a person comes to me and tells, "Oh, thank you so much for doing this cleanup." I was like happy that at least okay, someone is appreciating and all. So I asked him politely, "Can you? Why don't you join us for the cleanup?" He's like, "No, no, no, it's not for that. So in the evenings we come here for parties. It is very difficult for us to keep the clean and then sit for parties here. So when you are doing the cleaning, you are keeping this area clean for us. It is very easy for us to come and do it. But as a part of contribution from our end, what we will do is we'll ensure that next time whenever we are drinking and keeping our bottles near the lake, we will keep it aside. We will not litter around." And that when this guy tells you a thank you for giving him a space for party, I was really, I didn't knew how to react because there were kids around, there were all other people around. I told, fair enough. Next day, I just asked the locals out there to ensure that they do not engage in these kind of activities. And that is how it is. His thank you for a couple of seconds felt nice, but his thank you's intention was not nice. It's the same way how people are. Your intent there, and there, he was not even ready to help you out. Okay, he has created a litter. He was not even ready to help you out. This is one of the classic examples which I tell it to people that we litter ourselves. Plastic is not bad. Plastic littering is bad because our world around us is so inclusive, are so tied up with plastic. We do not have any other options to get away from it. Some way or the other, if how much ever I am working out as an alternative to plastics, but at the end of the day, there is going to be plastics around. We do not have that options to, as of now. How much ever I try, so until and if even I go into villages, I try to stay in villages with minimal things and all. There would be some or the other component of plastics that will be there with us. It might be in the form of medicines that we would take, or something which is inevitable. We cannot go to a pharmacist and tell, please give me the salts. I would add it and take it because I don't want to use it in plastics. Or it might be a basic thing of having, excuse me, or basic thing of having, carrying some things. We cannot tell that right now, we cannot ask people to carry their own things. So it is very difficult for us to say no to plastic. So this is one of the challenges. Then when we realized these are the challenges, we started working, building a community. Now every Sundays in Hyderabad, we have 3, 4 lakes where we all of our friends, slash volunteers slash family slash whatever you guys want to call them, they are us who at every Sundays morning religiously come down to the lake. We are there, someone is there or not, if we have friends or not, it's not a, it's inevitable. There and now the things have gone to a next level. Now it has become like a ritual for all of us. If we are there in Hyderabad, we all meet up at one particular lake. If we are not there in Hyderabad or we are traveling to any other place, Sundays, we all meet and we virtually do a cleanup. We might be near a lake, we might be near an ocean, we might be near a mountain, we might be near any community, wherever it is. From 7 to 9, it is a must for us to do some kind of activity. Because now what has happened, it is no more like a lake cleanup. It has become like a meditation for all of us. It's like a spiritual enlightenment that we have got into. So it is must. I would suggest you guys. You might be having some stress to deal with. You might be having anything. But when you start concentrating on that particular place and start picking up the litter, you yourself will understand what is the difference that is bringing in your life. We started now, we were picking up bottles earlier, then we went on to chocolate wrappers, then we went on to that lake cleans. So there is a two teams. We have one team which gets inside the lakes and takes out the plastic. There is another team which is working on the periphery of it, so ensuring that the plastics do not enter the lake anymore. So we have two teams that we have divided into two teams. So one team is of young champs who are in their class 3 to 10. They are one set of kids. We do not encourage them to engage them to get inside the lakes. Then we have someone who's from the 11th to the whoever is the youngest who joins us along, uh, youngest in the age, by heart, not by the age. I'm sorry. Whoever is the youngest by heart joins us. He might be 60 years, 70 years, 80 years, whatever. Whoever is the youngest by a heart joins us along. We get inside the lake and we try to do that cleanup activity when we start taking it up. So now, when we do these kind of activities, the students, the recent days, what we are trying to do is we are trying to pick up cigarette butts from the perimeter or near inside somewhere from the lakes. When you have a third class student or a fourth class student grader picking up that cigarette butt along with father, along with his mother, along with his a friend, they're picking up, and the questions that they ask is something which sometimes it is out of the societal pressure. We might not be able to answer because we have been collecting 1.5 kgs of cigarette butts every Sundays in 2 hours in one particular. I had to, I think there is some power of fluctuation. Great. Yeah. So yeah, when we have this, to continue to the conversation that we were having before that. So when we have father who smokes, who's actually there at the lake cleanup, you have a mother who is actually helping and the kids who are there. And when they start picking it up and we tell them that this is not right thing, and when the child goes back home, when his father just opens up the box, just imagine the kind of questions that that father is getting out. It is something which all that is one of the major reasons that we are getting a lot of kids around with us. Every lake cleanup that we do, that they want, the wives are pulling their husbands and getting them to the lake so that they want them to stay away from this smoke. They want them to stay away from chocolate biscuits. They want them to stay away from alcohol. They want them. So this has become something like a detoxification center for them. So they want to, you want to detoxify yourself, it is best to come down for a lake cleanup and do this, because this is what they are trying to it's a behavioral change that is going to come now. And these kids, when they start picking up, they the questions, okay, cigarette is not good, okay, we would not be engaging ourselves in smoking because we have seen the impact of it. So that leaves a lasting impact on their minds. At a class 3 student, at a class 4 student, when he does this thing, so that is one of the major good things. So I'll just share you one of the, as told, one of the during one of our lake cleanup, one kid called Purvi. She's a third class student. So saw a fish which was dead, and where we've been earlier been telling that, okay, because of plastic this is an impact. Her family eats fish and stuff like that. This is the impact that has been created because of. Trust me, from next day onwards, she has stopped eating fish. And she is forcing the entire family to not have fish. The way she cries, the way she yells, if there is fish that is coming into their house, is something different. I think we all should join hands. We have a lot of trash. And when we are doing, one of the best things that happens when we are actually helping the ecosystem to do a cleanup is also helping in terms of revival of that particular lake. Restoration of that particular lake is also happening at a much bigger pace than compared to what it is. Because plastic clogs the drains, plastic clogs the waters to not let you inside. So when we do this cleanup, it also rejuvenates the lake. I think That's it, guys. These I would urge you all, guys, to start a smaller community along where you start doing a lot of lake cleanup activities. If there is no lake, no problem, but you would have somewhere or the other places where you can do a cleanup every Sunday. Thus, you can start a 10 minutes, spend 10 minutes for the community on every Sundays. I think we will all make a huge difference for all of us. That's it from my end, guys. I hope it wasn't boring. I was just shared whatever we are trying to do. And if you are there in Hyderabad next time, please do join us. Uh, you can authenticate the stories that I've made. If is it true or false? That's it from my end. Thank you so much, Monica. Thank you so much, the team who has given me the opportunity.
Thank you so much, sir. It was really interesting to hear about your journey. And before, also, when you were gone, I was just, narrowing down like that. Our trash is literally ours, and we cannot blame anyone for it. So it gets to the scope of responsible party. So the party is us. So if we bring down the litter, then we can bring drastic changes. Now, uh, getting back to the questions, Abhijit sir, there is a question from Ashutosh Sharma, and I would also encourage others to post their questions in the chat box, or they may directly ask also. So the question is, what is the use in the context of lake, the wastewater
Yeah.
treatment?
Yeah. So if you, I mentioned in my first slide itself, if you look at current situation of recycling our wastewater, it does not exist except for a very few facilities. So the raw wastewater or whichever form of wastewater, uh, it will it is going into our water bodies eventually. You cannot dump it on the land. It has to go to some water body. That also includes lakes. So if you reduce the wastewater generation itself, then the water that is going into the lake will also be reduced. That's the context for lakes and other water bodies.
Thank you, sir. The other question to you only it is, can domestic treatment of wastewater be aggregated and the treated water be brought to nearby water bodies?
No, the objective is not to discharge this water at all. The objective is to reuse this water for activities that do not need fresh water, right? For let's say, imagine a situation where you have a large garden, for example, or a large lawn, uh, golf course, and you are using a tanker to keep this lawn green and nice. If you can do the same activity by using a treated wastewater, then it definitely saves fresh water. So the idea is not to discharge the wastewater, but to reduce the discharge and reuse the water, right, at the on site, where it is generated.
May I just jump in because the question was posed by me? Sorry.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Thank you, Abhijit, for just clearing the doubt. The thing is, we have worked on large scale projects, and actually, we have done this not literally doing the treatment in the building level, but actually bringing the entire water from the build. And then, because it's a university campus or industrial campus, we treat it through, of course, primary, secondary, and tertiary. And then, because in every site, in most of our large scale projects, we have ponds. So we try to use that as a recharge pond by putting this wastewater. And that's why this question. But I want to actually answer to the previous question, which was asked to you, that it is possible, but it is dependent on how you are treating. And that's why, Abhijit, you are presenting a different model. And what I'm sharing is a little bit different model, but definitely possible. But yeah, I think my next question itself follow-up is, how do you see your approach of actually treating in the building is upscalable? What is the biggest scale as of now you envisage in your approach? Thank you, Monica.
Right. So we started with a small individual house kind of facility where there are 4 or 5 people in the house, and they are, spending around 500 to 600 liters of water every day. And we started from that, and then this solution itself is very scalable. So presently we have gone up to 25,000 liters per day, uh, which is suitable for in a large building with around 100 flats. Uh, and so anything more than that, then we are approaching the centralized solution that is currently available, and our objective is to decentralize the whole water treatment activity. So if we go into a much larger scale, then we are again centralizing the whole process. So presently, 20 to 25,000 liters per day, which itself is very huge, in our uh, view. That is the largest we can do, which is enough for a large multi-story building.
Okay, thank you, sir. Uh, I have few questions. Akshay sir, as mentioned, plastic pollution. So, like in decades, there has been a mass production of plastic, and today we have, I think, made billion metric tons worldwide. So we all know that this, as it was mentioned by Akshay sir, that plastic is not the problem, but plastic litter is. So we all know that plastic material has revolutionized the society. But when we talk about the single-use plastic footprint, which take hundreds of years to decompose, I just want to know the experience of plastic pollution while you were cleaning, especially the single-use plastics.
Okay, so I'm not an expert, but I've taken that liberty to learn myself. So there are 170 categories of plastic and 140 types of polymers. Out of that, there are only 70 categories of plastic that can be recycled. And out of that 70 categories of plastic, there is no recycler in India who can process more than two categories of plastics and one particular. An example to quote: if we have a water bottle, unfortunately, I don't have. If someone has a plastic distillery or any brand kind of a water bottle, if you guys have, we can just show it to all of our friends who are there. I can just share you the details. Uh, if not, let's go. So if you see the bottle itself, you have the cap. The cap is of a different category called PP, polypropylene. Then we have something called a bristlery or kinlay, that sticker that is put up. That can be of two categories. One is made out of MLP, multi-layer packaging, or something it can also be made out of these days PS or PP as well. They can make that stickers, which are again difficult to recycle. And the PET bottle itself. So in one category of plastics bottle, which is a huge consumption that we do when compared to the single-use plastics. We are talking about single-use plastics of multiple ranges again. It is very difficult for us to segregate this particular thing and reprocess it and reuse it. If at all, single-use plastic, the myth that is there, for example, a plastic glass that is there, which is been used for drinking water and thrown. Okay, that is single-use plastics according to the context. But that same glass can be recycled again. But whereas the comparatively, the sticker that is put onto that or the other chocolate and biscuit wrapper, that is cannot be recycled. That is the more difficult problem. The single-use plastic is a plastic name that has been given. What is single-use? Now, if I want to ask people out here, what do you mean by single-use plastics? It's like, okay, we have styrofoam, which would come under single-use plastic. Okay, I agree to it. We would have plates, glasses, spoons, and all. But don't you guys think if any plastic that is made of single polymer, it is a basic general common sense. If it is made of a single polymer, that polymers can be recycled or upcycled or used for some other purposes. The moment we try to mix polymers to it, it is very difficult for us to take out that polymers from that particular carry and these. In India alone, we generate close to around 9.25 million metric tons of plastics a year, which is equivalent to, can anyone guess which is the tallest statue in India? It is
Sardar Patel.
Statue of
Sardar
Unity.
Statue of Unity, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel statue. With the amount of plastic waste that we generate in India in a year, we can have close to 162 statues that are made.
Seriously?
Yes, 162 statues can be made with plastic that is generated in India is equivalent to that. Do you guys know number of cities that we in India have? Number of cities, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 cities. Google, okay, I'll take this. It is 4,000 plus cities do we have. So just imagine it is going to take just us, the way we are rapidly growing our plastic intake, we can have in a decade or so, we can have every city can have a statue that would be made of plastic. It is the intention is at a grassroots level, we still do not understand. For example, we would be having students who are from this year. We would be students who would be who are from uh, Terry, but we have studied, we all studied something, but this has not been taught to us that okay, if we try to use a single polymer, because from Terry and TIS only I see a lot of CSOs, chief sustainability officers, who are there part of a multiple senior organizations. When I ask, have you ever understood that what polymer is being used? And what is how many times can that polymer be recycled? What is the strength of it? What is the viscosity of it? How many times, if it is single use, can we use it for one time? Can this be recycled for 7 times? We have never got ourselves engaged in doing this activities for us to claim any plastic to be single use. If at all there is something which is there, I would be happy to know it, because as per my knowledge and as per my study, there is nothing which has come out to for us to, because we do adulteration, jugad in India. Jugad is first, product is later. We do jugads and then get our products out by even thinking what impacts us. Yeah, sorry, I gave a lot of gyan here, but to answer to your question, when we are trying to work around with plastics, the plastics, when we take it out from lake, it is actually in no way you will be able to analyze it which category of plastic. It might it is in such a damp, such a burnout condition for us to understand. Hope I answered to your question in that one spot.
Okay. My next question is like both the speakers and also to the Mansi ma'am. It's like when, like in Delhi, the Delhi government is involved in reviving the lakes. So, what is the difference when they come out for the cleanup and the other cleanup, like we do the cleanup? So, what is the exact difference between the two? Like, just to quote from the initial conversation from one of our past series, like when people are involved, consultants are involved, and corporates are involved, this is very dangerous. So, how it gets different when we take the public and we, do the collective action? How is it different from the cleanup done by the government?
I will first request the
Any
speakers
government
to
officials
speak.
here?
No, I will first request both the
Before
speakers to speak and then give my opinion. The floor is yours today, guys.
Are there any government officials here?
You just go ahead and speak your heart, Akshay. You don't have
No,
to.
no, no, no. I am not. I am not getting going to get offended. I just don't want him to feel offended. I am going to speak out. See, where does a government? It is who is government? This is what I made my first statement. Is
Yes.
government is the people who are coming from outer Mars or Jupiter or somewhere? It is
No.
us. Why should anyway time it? be responsibility of any government. If government is doing, who is there? Humans are only doing, right?
No,
We
actually,
humans.
uh,
No, yeah, please,
sorry
please,
to
please,
interrupt.
wait. Let's debate. I am here to debate. We should have this
No,
fun.
no, no,
This
not.
should be
No,
a
this is the
conversation.
reason why I love you, Akshay. And this is the exact
Yeah.
reason why
Bolo,
I.
bolo. Monica, I am here.
See,
I am going to
everyone is
speak.
talking about government and who is the government, you know.
Ah,
Yes, go ahead.
bolo,
I'm
bolo,
just
Monica. I want.
asking.
Ah,
Actually, we have seen in the news like Delhi is reviving all the lakes.
ah.
So, and they are doing with some pilot projects also. So they are kind of rejuvenating the whole lake and landscaping and doing everything. So how is it different when we go, the environmentalists, when they do the cleanups and when they revive the lakes? How is it different from the government? Which what government does? How is it different from them? Like in past, also
So, do
many
you mean to tell me that the
environmentalists have done.
environment? So
Yes, sir.
environmentalists
Proceed,
are getting
please.
involved. They are the ones who are doing the entire lake cleanup without any support of any other agency. One consultant is validating that lake. Fair enough. So you mean to say the entire this is not a software update कि ओके आज iOS 17 आ गया कि हम लोगों ने फोन को लगा दिया अपडेट कर दिया रातों रात में अपडेट हो जाएगा. There is a consultant who might be there, but at the end of the day, it needs. I am been working on 2 lakes for the last 7 years. I am not able to achieve it because of lot many other reasons. Government, it is not that government is not helping me. Government is also helping me, but a sheer idiots like me. Now you clean the entire place. Tomorrow you leave a bag of garbage on it. Whose responsibility? Government has done everything. Government has put up barricade. The consultant has given that okay, we'll do fencing around it. We will do this entire thing around it. To answer to your question, this is frustration which is coming out, but the contents are there.
Sir, I think I
Abhijit,
think
you
we
can
have lost you.
take up the question and respond till we get back to Akshay. Yeah, Abhijit.
Yes, yes, ma'am. So we have a question for Abhijit sir. Like, how far is the treatment technology in one building close to circular water? Is it possible to upscale to high-rise and medium-rise apartments?
Well, at present, circular water is only partially possible in our technology because when we send the treated water to the flush tank and the toilet gets flushed, then that wastewater is going to the sewage line. It is not coming to our system. So in a way, we are only reusing the water only once, not repeatedly. So it's not like we are same water is being used again and again. That is presently not happening. In terms of high rise and medium rise, we are already doing medium rise buildings up to 10 story. For the high rise buildings, we have not really uh, say found a use case for or a prospective client which will that will give us this opportunity to try out a system in high rise building.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Also, sir, can you enlighten us with the latest option of domestic water treatment machines?
Well, for drinking purpose, many of us use, say, RO, the reverse osmosis treatment. In some cases, it is required, but in 90% of cases, this RO is not required. As it is, wasting, hundreds of liters of water. As you know, if you apply 100 liters of water to the RO machine, it will only give you 30 liters of drinking water, and the remaining 70 liters will go to waste. So in places where the water the TDS is more than 1500, the RO system is fine. But if the water hardness is not that bad, then you don't really need an RO. As opposed to other technology like UV and ultrafiltration, I personally believe most of our water which we get from the municipal line there, that is fine for consumption except for certain cases. So I personally I don't use any water filter at home in Pune. Maybe the water is better than other parts of the country. I don't know. But in terms of drinking water, filtration technologies, I would, strongly, argue that the RO itself is causing a lot of water pollution by rejecting huge amount of water and where it's not really required.
Yeah, Abhijit, just jumping in, Monica again. My question was actually these the small new tools which are machines which are coming for wastewater treatment also.
Okay.
So actually, the question was about that.
Wastewater. Okay. Honestly, I have not seen any machine. If you have if come across any sustainable or any low cost solution, we have there are few startups or few companies in the West, in UK and US. They have made this like a big portable machine for treating your bath water, but those are quite expensive compared to our Indian standard. For our country, we are, we have tried to find uh, a competitor that does the same, technology. We have not seen any sustainable units out there in the market.
Okay, yeah, I was actually talking about from outside only. So we are still waiting for them to be in India. Thank you. Thanks, Abhijit. Over to you, Monica.
Uh, Thank you, ma'am. Thank you to all the speakers. Now, I would like Mansi, ma'am, to just brief out the whole session and also reply to the question that I asked before. Over to you,
Yes.
ma'am.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks, Abhijit, and thank you, Akshay. And I hope you could speak your heart in the session today. And we are really fortunate to discuss today for the first time looking at both water and solid as waste, which gets into the building as well as it goes out of the building. And one we talked about technology, and one we talked about the social part of it. And I mean, time and again, we are seeing that no matter what technology we bring in, and it is important that technology matters, but we also know that without behavioral change or social change, actually technologies will fall apart. I mean, that's I think as simple as I can put it in my own terms. Um, so with this, I actually would like to ask last round of question before we end, and also answer Monica, so that she's also satisfied. Her question was extremely important, and to understand the role of governance. And I'm privileged because my PhD was on governance. I would like to take the response from where Akshay was actually speaking his heart and talking about who is the governance, who is the government, and where does it stop. And when we look at the government initiatives on lake cleanup and restoration, and when we look at people like Akshay who are doing, and we have many more names. We know Madhulika from Hyderabad herself. We have Kalpana in Hyderabad. We have Anand Malligawad, Nimal Raghavan, Ramveer Tanwar, and we can continue naming. I mean, we are also running Lake Pond series, and we hear them. I think there is a fundamental difference which we need to understand, Monica, here. How do we define lake restoration? And Akshay put it very clearly. It's not that you do it one time and you upgrade the lake and you just forget about it. It's just like every day we maintain our own body. We have to eat, we have to excrete. Very similar to that, the lake also requires a regular upgradation or restoration. And this is where the definition of restoration really needs to be understood very well, both by grassroots practitioners and importantly by government officers. So all the hula of beautifying a lake and making a bridal out of a lake is important, but is not enough. So if government is handing us some kind of a public good, which is a lake, it is then a responsibility of the citizens to maintain that in certain order or fashion, which the state looks up to us as citizens to look at. So it's a collaborative effort. So we cannot think about our right to litter and government's duty to clean. And that is where we need to understand who is the government and what is governance actually. Governance is by the people, for the people and of the people. That is the definition. So governance is equivalent to democracy. So if we are talking about government's approach, it is more about lake development approach and not lake restoration approach. That's a philosophical difference which we need to understand. But this is not a session on lakes, and I do not want to become the third speaker of the session. So I will keep it as simple as this at this point in time, that government is doing lake development, not lake restoration. Because lake restoration requires going every day, every Sunday, or every month and ensuring that its health is good. Whether you earn money out of it or not, that is secondary. And what grassroots practitioners like Akshay and others are doing, they are just trying to clean the lake, and that is also not restoration of the lake. So lake restoration is about the health of the lake, which requires a lot of other things. If there is no fish and no grass, there is no lake restoration. It is as simple as that. And government documents do not talk about increasing the fish health, increasing the grass health, increasing the floral health, and all those kind of things, increasing the bird population on the lakes. So we will talk about lake restoration in the next session, which is actually on 3rd of January. So I'm already announcing our next Wednesdays for Water session. So we are running nearly a year of lake and pond series, and on 3rd of January, actually we have a very well-known lake specialist from the country, and he is going to talk about actually looking at local lakes to global lakes, because he's also part of the Global Lake International Lake Conservation. And Wednesday 3rd at 5 p.m., we are going to talk about local, regional to global lake conservation and management. And it is part of the Lake Pond series. We are going to be doing the 10th session of it. So I think many of the lake questions can be also discussed there, but it will be more on governance and management. So Monica, your question will be taken there much deeper at all scales. So that brings me to last question to both of you speakers, because often when we talk about pollution, there are niches in pollution, like, and as I mentioned, today is the first time we are talking about waste, both solid and liquid, at one platform. And there has been no debate on which is a bigger sin to pollute the lake or water body, whether the solid waste is a bigger problem or the liquid waste is a bigger problem. And I don't think they are competitors in any way, but I would still like to take your last remarks on this before we decide to close the session. So how do you see the role of wastewater in water bodies? That's for Abhijit. And how do you see the role of solid waste in water bodies? So over to you. We start with Abhijit again. Thank you so much.
Yeah, well, in terms of role of wastewater on the water bodies, there is long list of documentation which we can go through that illustrates disastrous consequences of wastewater killing the water species, stopping the growth of other fish and other species in the water, and eventually turning a pristine lake into a dump, water dump, because unless you have live organisms in the in any water body, it is going to be polluted, no matter how clean you make it, or how much solid waste you remove from it. So I think uh, if you look at the comparison between solid waste and liquid waste polluting the lake, I think the liquid waste is polluting the lake from inside, whereas the solid waste is doing it from the outside. So both are equally culprits, I think.
Yeah, very good point as a last remark, So Akshay, who is a bigger competitor in polluting the lake? Over to you. You heard Abhijit.
I think he has answered to this best way. The only thing is, we are visible, he is not visible.
Yes.
Yeah,
The great Pacific garbage patch is visible,
Yeah.
but the industries that let out their effluents inside the lake isn't visible.
Yeah.
Only the frost, only the snow is visible, but what is making that snow isn't visible.
Yeah.
So both are whatever. So this was something which was been asked by a fellow child also. So I gave a simple answer to him, for to best of my ability to explain it. Correct me, Mansi ma'am, if I am wrong. I told him, बेटा जो यहाँ पे है और ये यहाँ पे है तो ठीक है, अगर कोई बाहर से कोई भी चीज जो बाहर से इसमें आ रहा है वो गलत है। वो पानी हो, सिगरेट बट हो, प्लास्टिक हो या कुछ भी हो, अगर कोई भी चीज बाहर से आ रहा है यहाँ पे, जिसके वजह से ये पानी का रंग बदल रहा है या जिसके वजह से वो कचरा बढ़ रहा है, वो गलत है। सिंपल।
Thank you. Actually, I was actually putting this question as a naive person, as a children, because as a child, because it is important that this is a very general question which everybody has in their mind. You know, that who is a bigger sin? Who is doing the bigger sin, the solid or the liquid? And somewhere I read that the wastewater is actually having only 0.3% of the waste, and 99.7% is good water, and just for 0.3% we actually call the entire water as wastewater. So somewhere the philosophical definition of solid waste and liquid waste also needs rethinking among the younger generation, you know, because is there anything waste in this planet? That itself is a debate, you know. So maybe I invite Monica for her last remarks before I also do the announcement for this week. We have a very interesting Friday water session on water arts. Monica, last remarks from your session, and you did exceptionally well because it was also your first session as moderator, and I'm very proud of you.
Thank you, ma'am. Uh, a lot has been already said. I just don't have any remarks to make, but yeah, it was very interesting to hear Abhijit sir and Akshay sir about everything, like how the wastewater is treated and then how it is being circulated in the building itself. And also Akshay sir, that how cleanup projects are being done and your interactions, little interactions, those were really very interesting. So thank you so much.
Thank you, all of you. Thanks, all the participants. If you have any questions, we can actually take up one or two still because we started little late. So please unmute yourself or else I'm going to announce our next session, which is just a day after on Friday. And if you are still thinking, I'm happy to take them up. So this Friday, which is December 29th, we have Friday Water Arts, and we have Nikhil Chaudhary from Berlin, and he's going to show us comic urbanism spotlighting climate action through graphic narratives. So Nikhil is an architect, urban designer, and this is his passion. So we are going to see some wonderful comics, how he's trying to portray climate change, environmental pollution and all. So do sign in for us for Wednesdays for Water, Friday Waters, and Monday Munching with Women for Water. I'm still going to ask if there is any one or two last questions. You can take it up, and I don't see anyone has raised hands. So that brings me to give the vote of thanks to all of you. And first of all, thanks, Monica, for organizing. I'm sure you learned how difficult it is to organize a session, and you are going to do it much faster to get our speakers and everything organized. And this has been for every session, it's a hard work, and it's really very proud feeling for all of us as we are inching towards 250 sessions in W4W Foundation. And for each session, our strike rate to get speaker is really, after reaching out to nearly 20-25 speakers, we get 2 speakers. That's our success rate to get speakers. So you can imagine the hard work that goes on, and that is done by most of the fellows. So thanks W4W team. And then thanks Abhijit. And it's always good to meet new people. And that's also the part of learning in this whole process and this journey of water education, which we are trying to create. And of course, Akshay, you know I love you very much. And you spoke the way you are. And that's the best part of you. And it's wonderful to know you here. Thanks all the participants who are here in Zoom as well as who are in YouTube. Nowadays, there are more people in YouTube, so that's a good part. And thank you all of you for being so patient and also making our conversation series meaningful. We will continue doing that. And meanwhile, we have an interesting announcement for all of you. We are coming up with Water Festival that will be organized at IIT BHU on 16th and 17th of February. And more information on that is available on our website, www.w4w.in. And all weekly actually announcements are also there in our website, and all our publications are also posted on our website. You can log on to look at all our videos, which are available easily of the past sessions. So do check our website and do keep a track of what we are going to do in the next week and next month and next year. Thank you so much with this. I wish you all a Merry Christmas as well as a very good new year, which is going to come. May you become more environmentalist, more sensitive towards water as well as planet. Thank you so much, all of you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thanks a lot. Just one last submission I had. So we are doing something called Safai Stories. If you have some stories that you want to share during your cleanup or doing anything, feel free to get in touch with me on Akshay Deshpande switcheko on LinkedIn. Please do share your stories. Would be happy to understand, because stories are the best way to explain a kid. And I'm looking out for new stories so that I am getting engaged when I don't have to give the same old stories to the kids. So if there are any stories which are not a chat GPT ones, would be happy to take it.
Thank you. Thank you. So we have a very interesting announcement. So we are looking for human stories, not AI stories. Thank you. Thanks a lot, guys. And please take care. We see each other soon.